It's good to see that the Culture Secretary is attracting some attention. Now, our culture business brings in over £100 billion to the economy each year. Certainly last year it was about 104 billion. This year, God knows what it's going to be. It's an incredibly productive industry. It doesn't deserve to be run to the ground as it has been over the last couple of years. Whatever one thinks of Nadine Dorries, I tend to think that she didn't do the job very well. She had a promising beginning, but really I don't think it was something she was capable of managing. It's a huge job. I think also it's the sort of job that needs to be split up. I don't think it's the same ministry really that should be dealing with the arts and with sport. These should be two separate ministries. They require too much focused attention, and somebody who is good at the one is not good at the other. So the amount of money the arts and sport bring in, or brought in last year, is slightly more than the amount of money which people are gawping at that Liz Truss is going to borrow in order to sort out our energy bills. So we should gawp at the amount of money involved in the arts. And that means we need to take it seriously. It's not the Ministry of Fun. This is the ministry which is reaching out and which is making our name abroad. It's not only making money, it's soft diplomacy. The creative industries, £4.7 billion last year spent on high-end television shows. Disney, Amazon, Netflix, all investing here in the UK. Sport, 17 billion pounds were brought into the country last year by sport alone. We've got to deal with big tech. We've got to deal with Channel 4. We've got to deal with the BBC. Well, the new minister is on record, first of all, saying that the television licence doesn't work. That's a matter for debate. I'm inclined to agree with her. I wasn't inclined to agree with the way that her predecessor dealt with it, but I think there's a problem, and admitting the problem is a good way to try and find a solution. She's also on record as one of the people who protested vigorously when the BBC tried to U-turn and claw money back from people who were over 75. That was an appalling decision by the BBC, and it was right to be challenged. But should the BBC be effectively privatised? Should Channel 4 be effectively privatised? I'm not inclined to agree with either of those options. I think a middle ground is the way forward, and not a BBC dominated by advertising that we see everywhere else. I think we should have a national broadcaster. And there are many other countries that have different ways of paying for their national broadcaster. We have been rather straightforward in levying a licence fee. Many countries hide that fee effectively in the electricity fee, in what you pay for fuel and electricity. And you can't opt out of it, by the way. I remember that particularly when I was living in Greece. So we've been quite straightforward about where this money comes from, and I think we should be quite straightforward about the alternatives. At the moment, I think the television tax as it stands is unfair. So from that point of view, I agree entirely with the new minister. But the alternatives, I think, are open to much further reaching discussion, and I hope that happens. But the most important thing is the size of is the scope and size of the money that the arts and sport bring into our country, and the wider soft diplomacy that sport and the arts is able to conduct. And we would be wrong to dismiss that as lightweight. This is not a lightweight ministry, and that's why we need to also lead the way in reality TV. Reality TV forms such a large block of our TV output now. We can do something about this.